I defended my wife against a rude coworker. He quit right after.
Ooh, that's good defense.
Alpha male. This situation happened in the summer, but it got brought back up recently, so I wanted to get an unbiased opinion to see if I crossed the line. By the way, this comes from you, Hazmigziki, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. There are 3 important points I want to state for background purposes before I continue. I, 30 male, have my own business. I've also been very fortunate that it's doing amazing, and I'm very thankful and blessed that it's growing. My wife, 28 female, works in a corporate job at a well-known company, which is also her first job out of college. She was recently promoted to director. She has people who report to her, and she reports directly to the senior director.
Ooh.
My wife and I bought land and had a custom-made forever home built in the summer of 2023. We were involved in the whole process from designing the house and choosing what furniture we would get. The entire process from the house being built to having it fully furnished took a little over a year. We're extremely proud of how it turned out. We love to host gatherings, so once the house was done, we threw multiple parties throughout the year. My wife wanted to have a barbecue/pool party in the summer and wanted to invite her coworkers. Because she was inviting a lot of them, around 50, we decided to cater food and set up outdoor activities like a bouncy castle since some of them were bringing all their families. Overall, a lot of planning and thought went into this, but my wife was happy doing it. A couple of days before the party, she gave me some background on coworkers I had never met. She got to a person named Johnson, fake but suitable, and also told me he was her old boss, a director of a different department, and that he had always treated her like crap. My wife was moving up the corporate ladder pretty quickly, and for some reason, he wasn't a big fan of it. She started out in his department, but eventually became a director and his equal in terms of position. I asked her why she was inviting someone like that, and she said she didn't want him to feel left out and made their work relationship even worse. I guess she wanted to try and work things out outside of company hours to see if anything changed. But regardless, she asked me to be on my best behavior around him, and if he made any snide remarks, and assured me she would handle it. I'm already overprotective of my wife because she's extremely nice and can be a little the one-twoing bag for people, and I told her I'd try my best. On the day of the party, everything was going smooth. Everyone was having a good time by the pool, playing backyard games and using the bouncy castle. Johnson arrived 30 minutes late, and I greeted him at the door while my wife was busy with the guests. I introduced myself and ushered him to where everyone was. He was actually nice to talk to at first. Whole demeanor changed when my wife walked over. It was like flip switched. I ignored it, but my wife offered a tour of the house for the guests who arrived late. As we went through the house, Johnson kept making negative comments about every room. For example, when we showed him the living room, he said, "The ceilings are, too high. Did you guys do that? Kind of pointless to have." No, it's not. What if someone wants to put a basketball goal up there and they want to shoot their foam ball with it? I wish I had higher ceilings so I could do that.
Literally, I've never heard anyone go, "Oh, your ceilings are too high." Vaulted ceilings are like a luxury.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever think about like maybe working on your vertical so you could touch them? Or is that a skill issue, man?
Oh! Johnson's got a tiny little micro vertical confirmed. He jumps like half an inch off the ground. He's like Nikola Jokic.
That's right. When we showed the guest/pool house in the backyard, he said, "Why did you guys build a guest house? Your house is big enough. It's like you want to show off." He kept making comments like that, making other guests feel uncomfortable. I kept my mouth shut at my wife's request, and she awkwardly left and moved the tour along. After the tour, we led everyone to the backyard where the rest of the guests were. Everyone except Johnson stayed, and he started talking to us. He began asking invasive questions like, "How much was the house?" and "Who paid for most of it?" I told him that was information I wasn't comfortable sharing. So we moved on. A little after, while we were eating and talking with other guests, the topic of the house came back up.
You just can't leave it alone, can you, Johnson?
Someone mentioned they loved the backyard layout and asked who designed it. My wife answered that we designed it ourselves. While she was talking, guess who in the world interrupted her?
Long John Johnson.
Johnson interrupted in a very sarcastic tone, saying, "Whoa! Be careful not to ask them how much it was. Apparently, it's private information that only the elite share with each other." There was an awkward silence. At this point, I had enough. He was clearly trying to embarrass her for no reason. I responded, "Zero problem here. Ever since you came here, you've been rude." He just scoffed, said he just wanted to know, and then kept silent. I pressed him and asked why he didn't know. He didn't say anything, just stared. I told him, next time when people are talking, you don't need to involve yourself. When I said that, he suddenly went on a rant. I don't know who you think you're talking to like that, but I thought it was odd and wanted to know how wife was able to afford this house on her salary. There's no way she makes enough for this house. Let me guess, you pay for most of it. Cut him off mid-rant and said, I can talk to you however I want. I don't work for you, and neither does my wife. This is also our house, and if you don't get to disrespect us here, I don't know what issues you have with my wife, but they end here. At this point, I'm not proud of this. I just started getting in his face and continued, just because you're jealous of my wife and how she's progressed in her career while you've stayed in the same position for however long doesn't give you the right to be the a-hole. You can get the F off my property before I have to force you to.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would say.
Riley.
Sorry, I was in character.
Yeah, that was a good character, man.
Thank you.
And scene.
I kind of feel like the right move was like to remain calm, but like the calm anger, because calm anger is the scariest kind of anger.
The silent anger.
Right, where it's like just right behind the eyeballs anger.
Like 1,000
And you
miles
tell
in your
this
head.
guy, you're like, you're leaving my house. And it's like, no, you don't get to talk like that. You're leaving my house. And he goes, blah, 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 blah. He says, you're leaving my house in the next 30 seconds or the police are going to be involved. And they're going to drag you out of my house.
I don't know if he's going to involve the police.
That's what I would say.
He looked dumbfounded, probably because he didn't expect me to get this close. Then he responded by saying something along the lines of, your wife slept her way to her position into an easy life where she doesn't have to pay for anything, and you're just flaunting your own money in people's faces. That was my breaking point, and I grabbed him by the collar and started dragging him / pushing him out of the house. When I came back, my wife's close coworkers were consoling her. The others decided it was time to go. After everyone left, my wife told me I didn't have to defend her like that. She's more than capable of taking care of herself. She said that because of my outburst, it's going to make things awkward at work for her now. Okay, now I kind of feel bad. I told her I knew I shouldn't have done what I did, but he was crossing the line. There's only so much I can take. She was upset that I didn't listen to her one request, that I let the one person ruin the party, and that now she's worried there will be issues at work. She also mentioned that she's concerned I could get arrested for it. I told her there's nothing to worry about because she did nothing wrong. She just got up and walked away, saying, I don't understand corporate culture. Am I the a-hole in this situation? You're my hero, but you are the corporate a-hole.
I don't know. I don't think so.
He's my hero. Corporate a-hole?
Corporate a-hole?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if she went to HR right now, HR would take her side. I like in terms of like, like Johnson's the a-hole, and she's like right next to him now.
Yeah.
She's the director and he's the senior director, and saying that she slept all the way to the top.
I understand, but like, it's just going to ruffle some feathers, like in the corporate world. So she's going to have to like go through that. And we're like halfway done. So I just think corporately, it's going to be a lot.
If you have the witnesses though,
Kimberly says,
because
Riley's got a point. Thank you.
Feel like having other coworkers there who can corroborate everything is going to really help you out. There's no way it can't.
Not sure how to properly update. Also, sorry for the rambling on my post. LOL. I did add some useless info. I'm a better speaker than Riley. Dude, you're fine. I mean, you spoke really well to Johnson. Update. My wife and I read all the comments, and we actually enjoyed reading them. Even though some were kind of mean, she came to the realization that she needed to be more assertive and not to be spineless, as some people so generously call her. As I mentioned before, this happened in the summer. The day after everything happened, we both apologized to each other and asked her to give me a full rundown of Johnson from when she used to be in his department, because there's no way someone has that much hatred for someone else without reason. So he did try and make advances on her when she first joined Johnson, but not only her, but a bunch of other female coworkers, some who were at the party.
Oh.
She shot him down multiple times and went to HR with her coworkers to file complaints, and Johnson's behavior did not. However, he was now having her manage, giving a ton of work to do. She was working long hours, but it ended up working in her favor because the other department's manager noticed her workload and her ability to finish it without mistakes and pretty much poached her to join her team. So from then till she got promoted to director about 6 years ago, she had very few interactions with him. It's only when she got promoted to director she was forced to interact. My wife, Johnson, and the senior director, Tim, would have meetings every morning. She said she never really acted badly towards her, but he would always downplay any suggestions she had or outright ignore it. She thought if she invited him to the party, maybe that would change his behavior and bury the hatchet. She realizes that it was really stupid to assume that that would happen.
You know, like, shame on this company for keeping this guy around. This guy's a known problem. He was harassing women in the office. He's leveraging his power and his ability to make decisions to target employees who have spoken up against him. And he's still up there in the senior director position, being outright disrespectful to one of his other directors and also not being held accountable for that behavior. Shame on you.
So my wife did tell me that when she saw everyone at work, they told her not to worry, and a bunch of them were happy someone finally did something to him. All right. Some were hoping for more, but happy regardless. She said that made her feel better because she thought they would see her in a bad light, which I don't know why, but my wife is an overthinker. She wrote a complaint to HR for harassment against Johnson, and he did the same thing, but against me. HR didn't do anything for either of them. She got an email saying, because this happened off company property, and this was not a company-sponsored event, no action needs to be taken by the company, and any disputes that happen needs to be taken care by the individual. She was worried that Johnson would sue her or call the cops, but nothing happened in a month, so we assumed he just gave up on it. During meetings, Johnson would just stay quiet after my wife spoke, as opposed to giving condescending remarks like he usually did. Bro's got his tail tucked between his legs.
I mean, I guess that's better than being actively one of the most annoying kind of people you can be. You're just going, okay, anyway, the adults are talking now. It's like, ugh.
I haven't seen or spoken to Johnson since the party, but my wife asked me to come to the company Christmas party where I saw Johnson, but he ignored us. I met Tim, and when my wife introduced me, he said something along the lines of, "Thanks for coming. Please don't drag me across the room. I'm very nice to your wife." That is hilarious. My wife and I burst out laughing, and I realized Johnson had become the butt of the jokes. Apparently, people at work started doing a collar-grabbing motion behind Johnson's back.
Dude, nice. Emasculated by the whole company. Let's go.
The reason it got brought up again recently was because my wife told me a couple of days ago that he put in his 2 weeks.
Nice. Okay, sick.
By the way, you can never put in your 2 weeks, ever at all, because we want you to go to your favorite podcast platform. Search up OK Storytime on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, who knows what you listen to. And search us up, OK Storytime, and listen to us. Please go do that. You can never quit. You can never quit on us. Don't you quit on us. Please, don't you ever quit on us again, okay? Riley wants some
trying to do
power
your thumbs up
to
from yesterday.
really badly. Yeah, I just want to say that sentence for some reason.
You just want to be able to say to somebody, do you know who I just got on the phone with?
You know what I just got on
Do you
the
know what
phone
I
with
just
right
heard
now?
and from who?
You know what I just heard about
You should. You should know.
Wow. I'll probably
Um,
get a dog and say that to him.
what?
You know what I just got on the phone with? You know what I just heard about
the
you?
president of dogs, and he said you're the best dog ever.
I joked we should throw a party, but she felt bad because she feels like he quit because of her. I told her that she didn't do anything wrong, and that happened to Johnson after the party was on him. That was on him. Nothing would have happened if he just kept his mouth shut. She understands, but she still feels bad. My wife is a very empathetic person, even to people who don't deserve it. So it might not be the ending some of you were hoping for, but it worked for us. We still joke around being dragged across the room here and there, but overall, everything ended in the best way for us. Wow, and they kept the house.
And they kept the house.
Kept the house.
That Johnson never got his grubby little mitts on the price of, and he got fired instead.
That's right.
What a little, just a little chef's kiss of a story right there.